Hi everyone, welcome to Midday.com, and joining us is the talented and beautiful Aditi Rao Hydari for her new film, Hey Sinamika. Hi Aditi.
Hi, how are you?
Alright. And so firstly, please tell us about what are the reactions you have been receiving for the film. It's a unique story.
Actually, it's been unanimously really amazing. Some films fall in that sweet spot where the audience, critics, and your fraternity within the industry also people give it a unanimous thumbs up. And those films are really amazing
Yeah.
because I'm just like heaving a sigh of relief because it's a theatrical after a while, and my last Tamil film, Psycho, was also a huge hit. So now again a film in the theater in Tamil and it's done phenomenally well. So and Mauna, the character I play, Mauna and Yaran have been received well. Mauna has been received well. In fact, all three of us have been received well, and every single person has been praised. So very happy.
Of course, you've been a successful woman yourself, and anything that you would like to tell other women listening to you.
I think to believe in dreams, live your dreams, to make informed, empowered choices because every choice defines you. To evolve, to learn, to not, take any kind of stumbling block as a block, but to take it as to take it as something that you, as a challenge and to walk over it. And I think I feel it's about not just women supporting women, but people supporting people and supporting and nurturing your dreams and uh, living them and with conviction to live them.
And particularly, as South Asian and Indian women, there's always this fear of judgment, वो लोग क्या कहेंगे, which is something we are getting rid of now. But is that, how is that something you kind of dealt with through your career and life, and how did you kind of, decide to get over it? Because it's difficult for a woman.
I think that if you really, really believe in your dreams and if you have a clear, if you have clear intentions, if your intentions are clear about why you're doing something or how you're doing it, I think nobody can really stop you and no judgment can stop you. Um, I also think that it is so important to be your best authentic self at every point in time, and to enjoy that time and to enjoy whatever it is that you're going through at that time and every challenge that you go through at that time, um, and to savor it and to evolve from it. Anybody who tries to dim your shine is really their problem because your shine is up to you. It is for you to shine.
Yeah, and of course, your chemistry with Dulquer Salmaan has been appreciated. So please tell us about, some behind the scenes maybe that, happened while shooting the film, and like what was the ride like, the journey of the
Dulquer and I actually have been friends from before we started shooting, and we always wondered if we would, do a film together. And Dulquer and I are part of this group of friends in Chennai. Whenever I go to Chennai, I hang with Dulquer and his wife Amal, and we have the same group of friends. And we've asked this question to each other, but we've never recommended each other for any film. And
Okay.
happens organically, that will be the best. And it did. Both Dulquer and I have a Money Sir connection and a Brinda Master connection. And has choreographed both of us, and she asked us for this film, and we were her first choice. So it seemed like the perfect film to do together. And I think somewhere DQ and I off screen are like Tom and Jerry. I
Okay.
him a lot. Uh,
Mhm.
I enjoy troubling him also.
Ah,
have, we trust each other. We have a great we have a great bond, and it was really it was quite incredible to work with him on on as a professional as well.
yeah.
I think the main thing, people are talking about great chemistry, etc., etc. But I think what's really the two of us really trust each other, and we really respect as people and in our work. And I think it was great because when you work with trust, then you can work together. And Brinda Master gave us the space to find Mauna and Yaran together. So we
Yeah.
us together. We found our dynamic, and we really, we were constantly bouncing ideas off each other, and we worked like that. So it was a lot of fun. I did a lot of. I was. I. Dulquer also says also always says that I was the mischievous one on set, which is true. I did trouble him. I hid his phone many times. I dragged him out of his van many times, but he allowed me to do that. So it was good. I had fun.
Yeah, and the film has a very unique theme, a woman who's looking for divorce because of a clingy husband. So, what was your reaction when you first heard the story? Because that's not something we usually hear about.
Yeah, actually, I laughed because the way there's a lot of stuff that is real in this film. In that
Yeah,
the things that they are dealing with are quite real. In that he mansplains, he's clingy, he's overly loving, and she is this bratty, slightly immature, mischievous girl. She's lazy. She wants to go out and work, but she doesn't want to lift a finger in the house. But what I like that the film is not about the fact that he wants to work at home. He wants to cook. He
yeah,
wants, and she wants to go out and work. That is not their problem. The problem
yeah,
is he mansplains and he's clingy. That's a very valid thing,
yeah,
but in all of that, they also brought in these, role reversals and the fact that your dreams should not have gender. Your profession should not have gender.
true.
Uh, and I thought that was very interesting because here's a guy who wants to do all this. He also has no problem wearing her anarkali because he can't
Yeah,
stand. This
yeah,
go out and work, and she does not want to do anything in the house. And she's fed up of the situation, and she's also immature and mischievous, and she creates a lot of drama. And I
yeah,
think, in films we give the whole evolution of a character to a boy, where the boy, there's a age story of the boy, and he's immature and lazy and irresponsible, and then he evolves into a better human being. Here,
yeah,
the where you have a loving Dulquer and a loving Yaran, and this girl who is who is mischievous and immature and irresponsible, and it's a coming of age of these two characters individually, because it is, even in reality it's not about one person changing and one person compromising. It's about both people understanding, balance, and what it is that made them come together, etc., etc. So it's throwing up a lot of important relevant things, but I think this evolution in their relationship, which is so relevant to a lot of young couples today. But it's also, the lens is also fun and comical and heightened comedy and silly situations and funny situations. I like the fact that Hey Sinamika was made in this way because it could have been a very serious film too, but it's been made in this funny comical kind of way. So it's reached out to a lot of people, and people are like, going back and watching it multiple times, and it's they are also seeing the relevance of what is happening in their own lives. And yeah, so I think that's interesting, and it's a nice,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, no, like you said, it's so important to maintain that balance because from one person's perspective, it will be like, oh, she's so loving and why does she have a problem? But from the other person's perspective, oh, it's, overtly clingy. So, how do you kind of maintain that balance? And as a young person yourself, what do you feel about it? Really?
I think for any of us, we belong to all of us are dealing with
Yeah.
a heavy influx of information constantly. Attention
Mhm.
span, a lot of interactions happen, with anonymity actually. Um, it's so important to, I think, understand this whole thing of live and let live, uh, understanding each other's dreams, supporting and nurturing each other's dreams, but at the same time also uh, living your own dreams and giving wings to your own individuality. Both are very important, and finding a balance between both is very important. So I mean, that's what I kind of take away from it, and that's what is important to me. So it makes me also reflect about
Yeah.
these kinds of things.
And you have, of course, worked across industries, right from Hindi to Tamil, Telugu, and Malayalam. So, how challenging is it really? Because I'm sure the working styles and, of course, the languages, switching between languages is difficult. It can't be, as easy as you make it seem. So,
I'm sure it's not easy. I like to think of it as effortless, and
yeah,
I think what is hard is sometimes the travel, and
yeah,
but the language, I feel like, if you're like, I'm very determined because I be a part of different kinds of cinema. I want to tell different stories. There are such incredible directors across India and the world. Why tomorrow I might be speaking Spanish, and there's stories to tell. So I don't want to limit myself just because of a language or a culture or whatever. I will learn. I will mug till I know it backwards, but I will do it. And I think what really fuels me is the challenge and the people that I work with, which is why for me to trust and respect the people I work with, because I completely give myself to the process, and I want to. I enjoy the nurturing. I also love the challenge, but it's a combination of the challenge and the nurturing that really fuels me. It's it is being that curious child on set, taking those risks, being free, but also being nurtured. That I think that those are the experiences I really look forward to. So that's how I like to work. And honestly, when I'm working like that, nothing seems like a problem to me.
yeah. And you have, of course, also done OTT films, right from The Girl on the Train to Ajit Dastan. Again, very different characters from each other. So do you feel OTT also has given you, the platform to experiment more than ever before?
I think the OTT platform is the kind of platform where your pressures are very different, and there's a lot of freedom to tell stories about lives, and then possibly not have to look at the other pressures of releasing a film in theaters where you're catering to a large diaspora of people. So I think OTT platforms, which also then cater to a lot of people, but it's also about the individual's choice to put on the film or not, and then
Yeah,
watch. So I think the OTT platforms have given writers, directors, actors, everybody who works in cinema a lot of freedom to tell the kind of stories that they want to tell. Having said that, the thrill of a film doing well in a theater, because
yeah,
there's such a it's like a nail biting risk that's involved, because there's so many variables there.
true.
People have to go into that theater and connect with you.
Yeah,
That's such a high. And I know that happens even on OTT, but on OTT, it's a different kind of intimacy. In the theater, it's almost like a magical world where you enter that world and shut out everything else. And on the OTT platform, you know those people, and you can choose to bring them into your world when you choose to. So it's quite,
that's
but both are very interesting places, and it's nice to have had, even during the lockdown, a lot of my work films which were theatrical releases went to the OTT platform. And at first I was quite disappointed, but I saw the kind of response and the kind of love that I got for whether it was Sufim Sujatyam or
yeah.
this V, Gili Pucci. These were all films that did phenomenally well.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Subscribe to Midday India. Get direct notifications on all our videos by clicking on the bell icon.